Greetings, everyone. By Crom! There's a lot of problems with this set. Well, last time we talked about the various issues with the menu and the packaging. Well, there's one final issue to go into. We talked about the episode order on the insert versus the episode order on the disc. I'll give you a quick refresher on that. But today, we're going to talk about what order the episodes technically should be in based on my own personal research into the actual continuity of the episodes. So I'm going to give you a full breakdown of what I figured out. What order should these particular 13 episodes be watched in for maximum story continuity based enjoyment? That's what we're going to talk about today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. I should mention right off the top, in this episode of the Multimedia Chronicles, I'm going to kind of assume that you have at least a passing familiarity with the animated series and with the characters therein. Alright? I'm not going to go into big long explanations about plot and character and story and stuff. Just going to hit on some key points as to why I think certain episodes should come before or after others. Sorry, I had a little hiccup there. Okay, so I need to consult my notes because this is too much for even me to memorize. Alright, so to quickly refresh your memories, since, well, whenever you watch the last episode, if you watch the last episode, there were some issues with the episode order and the episode listings in this set. Now, first off, there's the order as it's listed on the inside of the package. We have The Knight of Fiery Tears, Blood Brothers, Star of Shadizar, Conan the Gladiator, The Heart of Rakkir, The Men of Stone, The Terrible Toranon on Disc 1, and Disc 2, Greywolf of Xanthus, Shadow Walkers, it's obscured by the hub, The Claw of Heaven, The Serpent Riders of Set, Windfang's Eyrie, and 7 against Stygia. That order is completely wrong. That's not even close to continuity order. Now, on the discs themselves, they went by what seems to be the typical or established episode order. This is the order that they appeared on the Australian DVD set as well. We have Disc 1, The Knight of Fiery Tears, Blood Brother, Star of Shadizar, Greywolf of Xanthus, Shadow Walkers, Conan the Gladiator, and The Heart of Rakkir. Disc 2, we have The Claw of Heaven, Windfang's Eyrie, which is an awesome episode, by the way, Men of Stone, The Serpent Riders of Set, The Terrible Toranon, and 7 against Stygia. Okay, now, let's do a quick run-through of the order they should be in. Now, this is based on my own research, which I will elaborate on later in this episode. The episode order based on story continuity, and I have very solid reasons as to why I think this is the optimal viewing order. Number 1, The Knight of Fiery Tears. Number 2, Blood Brother. Number 3, Men of Stone. Why should Men of Stone be episode 3 and not episode 10 as it appears on the discs? We'll go into that in a little bit. Number 4, Star of Shadizar. Number 5, Greywolf of Xanthus. Number 6, Shadow Walkers. Number 7, Conan the Gladiator. Number 8, The Claw of Heaven. Number 9, Windfang's Eyrie. Number 10, The Heart of Rakkir. Oh, The Heart of Rakkir should be number 10 and not number 7? Yeah, I think it should, and we'll go into why in a little bit. 11, The Serpent Riders of Set. 12, The Terrible Toranon. Easy to get that tongue twisted. And 13, 7 against Stygia. Okie dokie. Now, you want to know why? Well, let's go. The Knight of Fiery Tears. Not The Knight of Fiery Tears, as it appears in the menu. Well, it's pretty obviously the first episode. It gives you the origin of Conan, gives you the origin of Needle, the baby phoenix, and it shows you how Conan's parents were turned into living stone by Rathamon. It also gives you a very brief intro of Zula as they are on the slave ship together at the end of the episode. Blood Brother. Pretty obviously the second episode, as it continues directly on from events at the end of the first episode and gives you the full origin of Zula this time. Then, number 3, in my order, Men of Stone. Here's the reason why I think Men of Stone should be episode 3. First off, there's no other companions in that episode. There's only Conan and Zula. And no other companions are even mentioned, so it's pretty easy to assume that that's because they haven't met anybody else at this point. But there's another very key reason why I feel this episode should be earlier in the continuity. And based on events in surrounding episodes, there's really no other place it can fit without interfering with other continuity-based stuff. So here we go, the big one, the big reason to have this at this point. Zula teaches Conan the sign of Jabal Sag to summon animals, which is part of Zula's power to commune with animals. Plus, Medusa is defeated, so Rathamon can no longer get venom to turn others to stone. To my knowledge, this is the only other episode where you actually see Rathamon turn someone else to stone. So it stands to reason that, that's why. I just said in the notes here, hard to pin this one down continuity-wise as there is no explanation for the absence of other party members. In fact, other party members aren't even mentioned anywhere in the episode, suggesting none of the others have actually been met yet. As such, it seems to fit best as episode 3 between Blood Brother and Star of Shadizar, and placing it here serves to more logically explain Zula's absence at the beginning of Conan the Gladiator, which we'll get into when we get to that episode. So Star of Shadizar follows on pretty cleanly from the previous episodes. We meet up with Jesmyn for the first time to get her origin story. And then, to further connect things together, they state explicitly at the end of that episode that they should head off to Xanthus, the city of wizards, to see if they can find a wizard there who might be able to help them restore Conan's family. So there's really only one episode that could possibly be next, and that's Greywolf of Xanthus, because he is the wizard that they find in Xanthus, the city of wizards, when they go there, like they said they would in the previous episode. So this gives you the origin of Greywolf, of course, along with Sasha and Nisha. You actually get to see them as in their original human form before they get turned into wolves. At the end of the episode, Zula and Jesmyn both state that they have to leave. They have other obligations that they need to get back to. Greywolf suggests to Conan that they head east, because he's heard legends of powerful magic there. So legends of powerful magic in the east. Well then, that pretty logically makes the next episode Shadow Walkers for a variety of reasons. First off, none of the other companions are there. It's just Conan and Greywolf. So that's a pretty, that's pretty much a given. Plus it features ninjas and Chinese dragons. That sounds like powerful magic from the east to me. Greywolf's staff also does not have the Claw of Heaven, which he acquires later. So that indicates that this is one of Greywolf's earlier adventures with Conan. And as I already mentioned, Zula and Jesmyn have left the party. There's no specific explanation, but you can pretty much guess that the reasons they are gone are for the reasons they stated at the end of the previous episode. So that brings us up to Conan the Gladiator. For some reason, Greywolf is nowhere to be seen in this episode. There's no explanation given. That happens sometimes. Some fans have mistakenly taken that to mean that whoever is in the party cannot be used to determine correct continuity order. I beg to differ. I think it has a lot to do with it, and if you actually put the episodes in the order that they should optimally be seen, it makes sense. If you watch the episodes in the order that I've laid out here, you'll notice that it actually makes sense. But other factors in this episode mean it can't fit anywhere else into the continuity. So, Greywolf has gone off to do God knows what, but Jesmyn is back. At the very beginning of this episode, Conan actually uses the sign of Jabal Sag to summon animal help. And when he's making the sign, and Jesmyn is watching and saying, "Are you sure you know what you're doing, Conan?" Conan specifically says, "Zula taught me well." It's like, well, clearly then that other episode needs to be earlier in the continuity, specifically Men of Stone. So why the hell was Men of Stone listed as episode 10 on the discs and in all the episode guides? That makes no sense. It obviously needs to be before Conan the Gladiator, because how can he be using something that he was taught before he was taught it? So anyway, in Conan the Gladiator, basically Conan and Jesmyn catch wind that Zula's in trouble, and they help him out, and he rejoins the party at the end of the episode. So that brings us on to the Claw of Heaven. The Claw of Heaven has everybody in it so far. It's got Conan, Zula, Jesmyn, and Greywolf has come back. And one of the big notable things in this episode to take note of whenever Greywolf is on screen from this point forward, Greywolf acquires the Claw of Heaven Star Metal Dragon's Foot, which he attaches to his wizard staff, thus increasing its power. Then we have Windfang's Eyrie. Episode opens with Conan talking about looking for a pyramid of Set being built. However, in my research I could find no episode that ended with them specifically looking for a pyramid of Set, so I was not able to connect that to anything. It just seems to fit in here quite nicely. This is another one of those episodes where the party order is a little bit confusing because Zula is nowhere to be seen. However, we do have Conan, Jessamine, and Greywolf. So, occasionally the party order can't be used to determine continuity, but a lot of the time it can be used as a part of the determination of continuity. And other times it can be used as the sole reason because an episode just doesn't logically fit in any other way because of that. It's, some people were calling me hypocritical for that, basically. It's like, well, you said the party order doesn't matter. It's like, no. I said sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there's other factors, sometimes there isn't. I mean, tell me another way to order these episodes that makes as much sense as the order I've put them in, okay? I'll tell you right now, there isn't one. This is the only order that actually makes sense and has a logical flow to it. Alright, so carrying on, so we got Windfang's Eyrie. Worthy of note, Greywolf has the Claw of Heaven on his staff, so it obviously occurs after the Claw of Heaven episode. We're also introduced to Falconer. Now, Falconer does not join the party. He stays with his people, but he does show up from time to time to help out when needed. So then, number 7, the Heart of Rakkir. Now, this is a prime example of me putting an episode in this order because of the party members. In this case, we have the introduction of Snag, who is basically a Valerian, which is like the Hyborian equivalent of Vikings. And Snag clearly joins the party at the end of the episode. But here's the problem, is in the order on the discs, in both the Shout Factory and the Australian set, the Heart of Rakkir appears as episode 7, which means you have episode 7, and then Snag doesn't appear again until episode 11, so there's like 3 episodes in there where he's just kind of vanished off the face of the earth. But it makes way more sense to put that episode with the last 3 episodes in which Snag appears, in all 3. So I think it makes way more sense to have that as episode 10. So you put the Heart of Rakkir in as episode 10, and then 11, 12, and 13 seem to appear in the same order everywhere. You've got the Serpent Riders as Set, the Terrible Tornon, and 7 against Stygia. Now the Heart of Rakkir has Conan and Jessamine. They meet up with Snag. He joins the party. Serpent Riders of Set has Conan, Jessamine, and Snag. And the Terrible Tornon, again, has Conan, Jessamine, and Snag. So it just seems like a nice little trilogy of episodes with those 3 characters consistently, starting with the introduction of Snag, a couple of adventures they have together, and then finally we get into the big first season finale, 7 against Stygia, which basically has everybody in it, and it is clearly meant to be the last episode of the season. So to sum up, episode based on continuity. And what discs to find them on. The Night of Fiery Tears, Disc 1. Blood Brother, Disc 1. Men of Stone, Disc 2. So you got a disc swap for that one. Star of Shadizar, Disc 1. Greywolf of Xanthus, Disc 1. Shadow Walkers, Disc 1. Conan the Gladiator, Disc 1. Then The Claw of Heaven, Disc 2. Windfang's Eyrie, Disc 2. The Heart of Rakkir, Disc 1. The Serpent Riders of Set, The Terrible Tornon, and 7 against Stygia, all on Disc 2. So a little bit of disc swapping there. So for the most part, there's really just those 2 episodes that are out of place. Men of Stone, I strongly feel, should be episode 3, because it's where Conan learns the sign of Jabal Sag. And The Heart of Rakkir should be episode 10, because it just seems to go a lot more tidily with the last batch of episodes than just being sort of stuck willy-nilly in the middle of the season for no apparent reason whatsoever. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that, because I'm almost out of tape. So there you go. So now you know the optimum continuity-based viewing order for Conan the Adventurer Season 1. As for Season 2, at this point, who the hell knows? I haven't seen Season 2 in a very long time, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully there will be a little bit more input from the fans on that one, and we'll get some more proper ordering to the episodes on that. Alrighty, well, that's it from me to you folks. Hope you enjoyed this little trip down continuity lane, and I'll see you again next time. So until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.